They are the great motivators, champions of sport, again and again. Great coaches with a special understanding.
I want to say this about motivation. It doesn't need to be an hour conversation.
They are winners. They are drivers. They are leaders.
A coach's leadership and motivation of that team is an essential ingredient in winning a national championship.
Their principles of success have spanned the decades. They are sport's greatest motivators.
One guy, Jarvis. You understand? The one guy. Hey, you didn't have him. He's here and you're here.
These 8 head coaches, both college and professional, each has won at least one national championship in his or her sport. They are all masters of their particular games, and how they motivate their players to excel, that's what sets them apart.
You get the wall set. Okay, let's go. Give me a rate return.
I think motivation is getting an individual to have a goal that he wishes to achieve and then showing him that he's capable of achieving it.
Andy Heck played 3 seasons at Notre Dame under Coach Holtz. His final year, they reached their goal, a national championship.
One of the best ways a coach helps motivate his players is by not accepting anything less than perfection.
After a losing season in 1985, Notre Dame's football program needed a new leader. The school chose Lou Holtz, a veteran coach with 1 professional and 4 college head coaching jobs on his resume. By Holtz's 3rd season under the Dome, Notre Dame was undefeated and unanimous national champions.
There has to be a burning desire to say, hey, I'm not going to lower the standard. When you feel you're in a competitive environment, whether it be in TV broadcasting, whether it be in coaching, whether it be in sales, it's because your standard's far too low. You lower the standards, there's a lot of competition. But there wasn't a whole lot of competition when John Wooden was coaching UCLA because his standard was much higher than anybody else's.
John Wooden coached UCLA's basketball team for a quarter of a century. During the late 1960s and early 70s, his Bruin teams put together an incredible string of 10 national championships in 12 years and raised Wooden to the pinnacle of the coaching profession.
To me, I think motivation is grossly exaggerated. I think the main thing is preparation. Get them fundamentally sound and prepared to play the game that you want them to play near their own particular level of competency.
When George Halas turned the Bears over to his former player Mike Ditka, he knew that Ditka would be a great leader. He had seen those qualities in Ditka's play as an all-pro tight end, and in just 4 years, Ditka took Chicago, a team that had been out of the playoffs, to a Super Bowl championship.
I don't believe in motivation, and I'll tell you why I don't. There's been billions of dollars made on selling books and tapes and audios and videos about it. Motivation is a personal thing. It's what a person has within themselves. It's desire, it's heart, it's guts, it's determination, it's perseverance. It's all the things an individual has.
In 1993, Pat Summitt recorded her 500th win as head coach of the University of Tennessee's Lady Volunteers. By that time, she already had 3 national championships to her credit.
The thing about my style is that I'm very open. I think we have a great communication, not only on the basketball court, but probably off the basketball court, so that we understand each other as people. Now I can speak to them not so much as an individual, but as an athlete. And you have to be able to separate.
She doesn't really tell a lot of stories about motivation, things like that. It's just her facial expressions, the way she does things, the way she says things to you, in particular, that you're like, okay, you want to do it for her.
We're family, and family matters. And family lives together, family laughs together, we cry together. We share a lot together. Therefore, we have common goals.
It may be hard to create a family out of professional athletes, but a baseball manager can build his players into a team. After 18 Major League seasons as manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, Tommy Lasorda's teams have won 4 National League titles and 2 World Series.
Motivation is the ability to communicate with your players. Make them understand what it's going to take for them to become successful.
Chuck Daly's coaching career has jumped from the high school level to the pros to the U.S. Olympic Dream Team. In the NBA, Daly's Detroit Pistons won back-to-back world championships.
I think I probably evolved. I think when I was in high school, I was the worst. I was a screamer, a holler. I thought that's the way it had to be done, you know, my way or the highway. I gradually learned and changed and became more flexible.
Between 1987 and 1994, an era of unprecedented parity in college basketball, Duke basketball coach Mike Krzyzewski led his teams to the Final Four 7 out of 8 years. And in 2 of those seasons, Duke won the national championship.
The thing about motivation and leadership is that you can't just write it out and say, here, you do this. You got to do it by feel, and you got to know people, and you got to know the situation, and that makes every day different.
Every team and every person has a different personality, and he prides himself on really understanding and knowing that.
Chicago Bulls head coach Phil Jackson has redefined the saying, East meets West. His mixture of Eastern philosophy and basketball fundamentals has filled the Bulls' practice facility with championship banners.
Phil's a good motivator. He uses a lot of things non-basketball wise to get guys motivated.
Phil motivates more through philosophy and trying to open players' minds to the game. And he tries to expand their game through means such as reading and meditation and visualization.
Phil Jackson's Zen style of motivation helped produce 3 world championships in a row for the Chicago Bulls.
The first way, that we say you do it is by having goals. And I think most everybody will say that goals are really important. And in the basic Bulls type system that we really encourage is the fact that your goals are reasonable and they're not just monetary. They're just not materialistic, that they're visionary too. There are other things behind, they're imaginary.